Hello, universe. Welcome to the world of Angelina Jordan. Recently, we did a video where we explored and compared and contrasted jazz music to country music. And what was striking is the big gap between country and jazz. And a lot of jazz singers, when they do turn to country, bring their jazz influence with them. But when we heard Angelina can go in the direction of pure country, where it's very difficult to detect her jazz roots. And so it does look like there's a very big difference between jazz and country. Today we're doing something which is different but similar. We're looking at jazz singers who cover soul songs. The difference is that jazz and soul are much less far apart than jazz and country, because there's jazzy soul and there's soulful jazz, and the lines between them are much more blurred. So what we will do, we will hear jazz singers who have covered soul songs, and we'll see what their take is with each of these covers. First, we're going to meet Jose James. He's originally from Minnesota, and he's won a couple of Grammy Awards. And he presents his jazz credentials with a relatively big jazz band when he covers Billie Holiday's God Bless the Child.
Them best God shall get, them best not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, and Papa may have. God bless the child that's got his own baby.
But he turns to the world of soul when he covers Bill Withers' Ain't No Sunshine. He himself has a completely different image between these two performances, and he starts out relatively similar to Bill Withers. But in this clip, the longer it goes on, the more he goes into jazzy mode. And more, it becomes apparent that one of the defining features of jazz is there are no rules. You make it up as you go along, and you have absolute freedom.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay, Lord, Lord, Lord. Well, ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
And Angelina has also covered the same song, Ain't No Sunshine. And she, like Jose James, brings her jazz influence to a soul song. You can hear the way she treats certain words and her phrasing as well.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. In this house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay.
Next, we're meeting Gregory Porter. He's also won a couple of Grammys for his jazz albums. He's originally from California. He moved to Brooklyn, and he has a very rich voice, and I really rate him. First, we're hearing his jazz credentials when he sings a song about going back to Harlem.
I was raised up by the sweet sound of the jazz man's horn. Hey, I found out on my way through Harlem, Langston Hughes, he don't live around here. Well, he moved away one day from his body away here in Harlem. Don't you know Marvin Gaye used to play right here?
And then he covers The Temptations' Papa Was a Rolling Stone. His cover starts out in the soul tradition, but then the second half of the clip, they go into great jazzy improvisational mode.
Was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, he left this was alone. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Back in the day, the music, I love music, any kind of music, just as long as it's grooving.
Next, we're going to Mississippi, and we're meeting Cassandra Wilson. She's a singer-songwriter who does both jazz and soul, and she does a cover of another one of my favorites, Neil Young songs, Harvest Moon, but she makes it more jazzy.
Come a little bit closer, hear what I have to say. Just like children sleeping, we could dream this night. But there's a full moon rising. Let's go dancing in the rain. We know where the music's playing. Let's go out and feel the night. Because I'm still in love with you. I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you. On this harvest moon.
And when she turns to the world of soul, she covers Luther Ingram's If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. But you can hear the difference from the original soul version to Cassandra's version, which is part soul and part jazz.
Love is wrong. I don't wanna be right. If being right means being without you, I'd rather live alone doing life. Your mom and daddy say it's a shame, it's a downright disgrace. As long as I got you by my side, I don't care what your people say. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. If being right means being without you, I'd rather live alone doing life. Mom and Daddy say it's a shame, it's a downright disgrace. As long as I got you by my side, I don't care what your people say.
Next, we're meeting Candace Springs. She's originally from Tennessee, and she was strongly influenced by Nina Simone. Her jazz statement is a song I'm sure all of you will know very well, I Put a Spell on You. And her performance is a good way for us to understand the nature of jazz.
I put a spell on you. Cause you're mine. You better stop the things you do. Well, I ain't lying. No, I ain't lying. You know I can't stand it. You're running well, you know better, babe. I can't stand it, 'cause you put me down.
And she covers a soul song from the early 70s by the Stylistics. Again, she makes it more jazzy.
Trashman didn't get my trash today. Oh, why? Because they want more pay. strike wanna raise and fare so they can help pollute the air. But that's what makes the world go round, the ups and downs of carousel.
Trashman didn't get my trash today. Oh, why? Because they want more pay. Buses on strike wanna raise the fare so they can help pollute the air. But that's what makes the world go round, the ups and downs on carousel.
Angelina Jordan is primarily a jazz singer, but she's very comfortable in virtually every genre that she touches. We have a couple of examples of her impeccable jazz credentials, especially early on. 8-year-old Angelina covers Summertime on Norway's Got Talent, and you can hear the shimmering in her voice, both with this performance and her shimmering voice when she sings What a Wonderful World.
And delivery's easy. Fish are jumping, and the curtain is high. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers. Where they used to be rain.
But when Angelina does soul covers, she almost leaves her jazz influence behind. She's able to extract a very pure soul version of the song to show how absolutely comfortable she is moving into a different genre without a lot of the overlap of the other jazz singers. We're going to hear 2 James Brown songs, It's a Man's World and I Feel Good, and she really nails both of these performances. And then we're going to hear her soulful version of Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly, which she does absolutely beautifully.
This is a man's world. It's a man's world. But I'll be nothing without a woman I would get. Singing my life with his words, killing me softly with this song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with
with his songs.
Music is not like science. It's not like math. It doesn't have exact lines and exact definitions. It's much more of an art than it is anything else. That's why we appreciate it. That's why it touches our soul. And the genres make it interesting as a way of categorizing it. But in a way, it's almost arbitrary, especially when we look at jazz and soul together, where the borders are not always that clear. But Angelina's talent is such that she's able to go from one genre to another very cleanly, where she could almost leave her jazz roots behind and be a complete musical chameleon. We will continue to follow Angelina in the future. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. I'll catch you later. Bye.